humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Let's see how long the voice lasts. Let me talk about Nintendo and this lawsuit. I find it interesting, very interesting, how the approach that they took. First of all, let me say that I'm a Nintendo stockholder, right? Also Microsoft stockholder, Sony stockholder. I love all the video game companies, and I hope they do well. With that said, I think there is a place for emulation, right? Because a lot of the consumer needs have not been addressed. That's the reason why emulation exists. If I want to go play Jack Bros, am I going to go spend $500 for a cartridge? No, that's ridiculous. No video game is worth $500 to play in its original state. You know, video games that sold for $39.95 back in the day. Right, so there needs to be options that the market has not created yet. Eventually, I believe these are going to be all services that these companies are going to have in order for you to play your favorite games, whatever those games are. But as of right now, it doesn't exist. Preservation is a huge issue when these companies shut down their services without letting anybody know. And even if you bought the game, sometimes you don't even own it. You just own that license. Right? So there's gaps in the market that haven't been addressed. And that's the reason emulation exists. Now, with that said, there has to be a limit. Right? When it comes to emulating brand new IPs. This is a perfect case where Nintendo grabbed the bull by the horns here. And even though emulators have already been ruled, you know, as a matter of precedence, that they're legal, right? It's a legal piece of software. What they attacked is their business practices, right? You are charging, you are making money via Patreon, via whatever other vehicles, to put how to basically circumvent copyright laws behind a paywall. So you're making money on this, and you're encouraging people to do it, right? It's very different than what's happened before, because nobody has done it in the current gen format, right? Because I think every normal human understands that if you're trying to, you know, pirate basically something that is just releasing, you're gonna get some blowback. Fuck around and find out. Whether it's video games, music, movies, the same thing's going to happen. I don't know what the mystery here is or what the shock is. The approach that they took, and they must have gotten these guys really good. And I'm letting you this know as my voice is leaving me now. Because they folded so fast. Whatever ninja ops they had in the background running in through you know, the Reddits or the Discords or whatever, they really had the goods on these guys, where their lawyers told them, you know what, you're dead in the water in this. You just need to settle, and it'll cost you less, right? And I think all parties understood that, and it's good that Nintendo wanted to settle and not take these guys, rake them through the coals, right? They could have done that. But is it good for the industry? I think for the people that advocate for, you know, higher wages and better pay and all that stuff, well, if you just let something like this go rampant and these companies start losing money on games, well, there's going to be less jobs, because who's going to want to invest in something that somebody's going to steal and you're not going to make any money off of it? Nobody is, right? It's basic economics 101. I'm going to spend $1 to make $1.50, and if I can't make $1.50, I'm not even going to invest it. Why risk my money? Right? And if these companies don't take these kind of actions, that's what could happen, right? Take it just to an everyday scenario. Say you open up a cookie shop and you have the best cookies in town. Well, here's another guy, and maybe an ex-employee of yours, got the recipe and is selling the recipe for $10 across town, so people can make it at home. Why are they going to come to you and buy it when they can make it at home? Right? Your business will suffer. So this is a pretty easy case to prove as far as damages. I don't think the lawyers have to go through a lot when you have 1 million downloads and you have the game leak online early, right? Whoever did that, that's the person who really killed Yuzu. gave them all the ammo that they needed. But there is a role for preservation. There is a role for older games. You know, I don't think Nintendo's going after, you know, the most popular titles on the NES or stuff like that. Eventually, they're going to have to build a model, just like other companies, to address the needs of the customer, right? To have better game experiences, right? Wow. Because you buy these pieces of software, you buy these pieces of hardware, and they should be yours to do with them as you please. This is where laws need to be changed, right? Because right now you're just buying a license, you know, whether it's Nintendo or anybody else. Say you have a company that requires you to be online all the time, right? And they sell you a game. They're selling you a license for as long as they want to put that game on. You saw it with Sony. As soon as they lose their rights, they take away your property, basically. So there's a huge need to change the laws, because they can do that with games too, guys. You can purchase a game for your console in the current generation, and since you're just buying it to play it on that console, literally, if you try to upgrade, they could prevent you from doing it. They're not doing it now, but they could put it behind a paywall. They'll say, okay, well, you bought this game for the, you know, PS5, but the PS6, if you want to play it on the PS6, it's going to cost you another $15. Well, why the hell would you do that if you already paid for the game originally, right? Or you just played on the old console. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's tons of ways for these companies to make money where it's not fair to the consumer. You know, can you charge people for it? Yeah. A lot of it's the consumer's fault, because you keep on paying, right? They keep on making these remakes and people keep buying them. You know, I mean, at some point, you also have to blame the market for doing stupid shit. You know, I mean, if you already bought The Last of Us one time, why are you going to buy it 3 times? You know, and I'm guilty of that myself. You know, I mean, there's certain games that I love that I'll buy the same game in different platforms, but that's different than buying the same game on the same platform or the same, you know, brand over and over again because they chose to use a different delivery method. So your old license is no longer valid, right? And that's the problem with buying licenses, which is what we're doing now. Are emulators going away? No, people will always find a way, I think. But if they cross that line, I think companies are going to come at them just like Nintendo did here. I think they crossed the line when they started charging money. I think they crossed the line when it's current gen titles that we're talking about. I think they crossed the line when they started putting information behind paywalls so they could make money. I mean, any jury of blind people could tell you that that's not okay, because you're releasing something that hasn't been released. You're charging money for basically showing people how to break copyright law. So it's very hard for anybody to win a case in that situation. But in this particular situation, I think Nintendo went deeper and got statements from these guys, from their Discords, from what have you. There was a lot of black ops running around. And ultimately, they fuck around and found out. All right, guys, that's the video. Just a quick update here at the end of it. I'm just going to school. I've been doing a lot of research papers, guys, which take a lot of time. So I haven't had the time, you know, to make videos or put content or anything. This is why I'm making this video right now on my drive to work. Usually as I'm going to work, I'm either studying now or working, making phone calls. So even during my drive, I'm not making videos. And of course, the voice, as you can see, it's been frustrating to deal with. It's sort of like listening to yourself on a recording. You know how you don't sound the same? That's how I feel sometimes when my voice goes out. I start, you know, I talk normally, and then all of a sudden it just goes, and the rest of the day people are asking me, are you still sick? No, I'm not sick. It's just my voice now. You know, I mean, it's just something I have to deal with, and the only way I can deal with it right now is by resting. There's other treatments. There's other very painful treatments which are just temporary. But you know, a lot of the other options that are available to me, I can't use until I graduate school. Really, I want to graduate school, and here with work, it's just going to be too hard, and that takes up the majority of my time these days, guys. You know, but I'm doing great. I've gotten A's and B's so far. You know, I'm getting the hang of going back to school again. You know, I hadn't done it for such a long time, and let me tell you, I'm having a great time. And you know, priorities, right? Family, work, school, and that leaves very little time for YouTube and stuff like this. And this is why I appreciate you guys stopping by and you know, checking out my channel. Thank you so much. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to post again real soon, because I'm probably not, but I'll, you know, post shorts and stuff whenever I can, and you know, even those are few and far between. But I really do thank you for sticking around. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.